It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Bahamas at Sunrise. I'm Anastasia Palacios. Of course, it's our pleasure to be with you on this marvelous Monday. We're looking forward to a great show.
And good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Daniels, and welcome to another edition of Bahamas at Sunrise. Yes, it's Monday. I couldn't wait to wake up this morning and come and say good morning to you all. I thought about it all night last night. So I'm wishing everybody a great week this week. Yeah.
Listen, I receive it, Mark. I do not feel like you. I woke up questioning why I do and get up this early in the morning. And remembered it was only for the beautiful people on the other end of their television sets who look forward to the show as much as Mark does.
Exactly. As I said earlier to our production team, it is a matter of national security that we wake up to make sure we're on TV Monday, Friday, Wednesday, Saturday, because if we're not, what will the Bahamas do?
You know, Mark, this is a very good question. I don't have the answers, Mark, but I'm happy that you're here. Happy that you're excited to get the show started today. And of course, we are looking forward to an absolutely lovely one. It is the week before Valentine's. And Mark, I always do this because I don't want any man watching Bahamas at Sunrise to have an excuse. I don't want any women either. And I think I need to put that out there, that if you are in some sort of loving relationship and you enjoy this holiday, that now is the time to start prepping for it. You've only got a week, exactly 1 week to go in order to make sure that everything is in place. So I'm giving you an advance warning now that to make sure that you get your gifts, that you do whatever you need to do. Yes, Mark, I see you looking at your watch. The store is open at 9. Make sure that between today and next week, Friday, you get everything sorted out for Valentine's Day.
You hear that, fellas? Don't slip up. You have been given a nugget. Star looking out for you. Go now. Just go now. Just go now and get it now.
Indeed. Well, we've got another great show for you today. We'll be talking with Reverend Marie Roach-Hepburn to find out more about the Anglican Theological Institute. Also joining us will be Karlos Mackey and Hubert Edwards for our Economic Pulse.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to those segments. We're also going to have Lashanti Jupp, our own mermaid, here to talk to us about her podcast, Siren Sundays. And we're going to take another look at that interview from Happy Hour CrossFit. Just to remind you all again, you're looking to get fit this year, go check out Jaime at Happy Hour CrossFit.
Looking forward to the full lineup. It really is going to be a great one. And as I reminded you guys, I'm not just leaving Valentine's for the men or for the women. Everybody's got to get involved this year. And for our viewers in particular, we want you to tell us why you're so lovable and why your Valentine is so lovable. So for a chance to win a dinner for two at Sapadilla on Valentine's Day, I'm asking you to email a photo of you two together and write 2 paragraphs on why you love your Valentine. Oh, Mark, that's so sweet. Send that
Just
email
2?
to S. Parker. Just 2, right? Just 2 guys. Not 4 or 5 multiples. No, 2. Just send that email to sparker@tclbahamas.com. And our winning couple will be asked to appear on the show by Zoom on Monday, February 14th. So this is a really simple one. Anyone can participate. Let us know why you love the person that you're loving on, why y'all two should be going to dinner. Only 2 paragraphs. You enter to win an amazing dinner at Sapadilla for Valentine's night. And so please leave your phone number in that email as well. The deadline is Thursday, February 10th at 4 p.m. So you've only got 4 more days to figure out how you're going to get this photo in along with those 2 paragraphs. But we're looking forward to seeing who the winners will be.
I can start writing now. Roses are red. And speaking of love, Super Bowl 56 is coming up. So for all of my fans out there, Super Bowl is happening on Sunday, February 13th. For those that love the sport, we want you to play our Super Bowl predictions game. So head over to our Facebook page and answer the questions on our game flyer. You have to email your answers to sparker@tclbahamas.com. The winner and second place finisher will receive prizes, and also will be asked to appear on the show by Zoom Monday, February 14th at 6:30 a.m. Dead early, right? But please sure to give us your phone number, and the deadline is February 11th at 3 p.m. Go Super Bowl. But, sorry, I get so excited about Super Bowl, I forget about weather. Let's check in with weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Mark, and good morning, Bahamas. In your first look at weather sunrise, high pressure remains across the islands. We expect a cool front move through on Wednesday morning and bring us some cooler temperatures for the remainder of the week. Today, partly sunny and warm over the northwest Bahamas. Variable cloudiness with a few showers over the central and southeastern islands, high temperature 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, few clouds and cool over the northwest Bahamas. Partly cloudy with a couple of showers across the central and southeastern islands, the low temperature going down to 64 degrees Fahrenheit. And some region highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 83 and 75, in Jamaica 84 and 69, in Trinidad 85 and 76, and the Turks and Caicos Islands 84 and 68. Across North America, Atlanta 55 and 35, in Raleigh 53 and 32, in Miami, 70 and 66, Dallas, Texas, 52 and 38, and Toronto, Canada, 31 and 18. As we go through the week, the cold front moves through the area on Wednesday, and that brings us some showers, possible thunderstorms, some cooler temperatures, and then a second front is expected to move through on Friday that will reinforce some of the cooler temperatures for the weekend. For Wednesday, partly sunny, a high temperature will be in the lower 80s, nighttime in the 70s. After front passes, we expect those temperatures to be in the mid to upper 70s daytime and the low to mid 60s at nighttime. That's what you're up on your first look at weather sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Godfrey. The Anglican Theological Institute, ATI, offers Christian teachings to persons who wish to experience an exciting journey in Christian spirituality, ethics, evangelism, church history, and more. With us this morning to tell us more is Reverend Marie Roach-Hepburn, coordinator and lecturer of the Anglican Theological Institute and curator of the Pro-Cathedral of Church Christ the King. Sorry, that was a mouthful. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. And since that information's been out, I am now the rector at St. Jude's Church, Smiths Point, effective last week, Tuesday.
There you go.
Yes.
Congratulations, Reverend Roach-Hepburn. Thank you for joining us on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. Can you tell us in greater detail what the Anglican Theological Institute is and how long was it established?
Well, we started the Anglican Theological Institute, ATI, I'll just say ATI, yes. In 2015. And it was really designed to help, to serve, to strengthen our members, our persons who are interested in theology, persons who are interested in finding out more about the Bible, persons who wanted to do more in ministry, lay ministry in the churches. And some persons also just wanted to strengthen their belief. They had questions about the Bible, they had questions about Old Testament, New Testament, evangelism, Christian ethics. And so we designed the course to assist those persons, lay persons of all denominations, doesn't have to be Anglican, to be a part of the Institute. As I said, we started in 2015. Initially, we started as a 3-year program, but we've now cut it down to a 2-year program with 3 terms. Studying Old Testament, New Testament, church history, Christian spirituality, Christian ethics, doctrine, Revelation, the apocalyptic literatures, etc. So it's been interesting.
That sounds very exciting and great to hear the history and how it was established. So what are the benefits of people joining this institute?
What we found is that persons said that they are more engaged, in their churches. They're more engaged in the sermons. When they're hearing them, they're more engaged in Bible study. They're more, when it comes to their spirituality, they're more open to new ways of worshiping. They understand the liturgy. So when they're sitting in church or when they go to church, especially our Anglican churches, they now know why we do what we do. And they see that everything that we do is scripturally based. When we look at the Old Testament and we look at the use of incense, they understand now, well, this is what they did it in the temple. In the Old Testament, New Testament, and Revelation, it says, the prayers of the saints and the incense. And so now they understand, why we're using incense. It's not just the smoky of the church.
Yeah, you use the incense for proof that you've been to church. You see?
Yeah. So all your clothes smell like, incense. No, but it's a reminder that our prayers are going up to God. So it's a visual and a sensual image to remind the worshipers that everything that we're doing in the church is our prayers going up to God. So as we see the smoke rising, we see our prayers going up to God.
Yes, and I'm very happy that the Institute is providing that background knowledge, because like you said, once you understand the history of the traditions, you understand what's going on behind the scripture, the language, and the setting that the scripture was written in, then it gives you clearer understanding and you can participate more in these services.
Yes.
So tell me, who can attend these classes, or what type of people should attend these classes? Anyone
who is interested in learning more about their faith. I talked about the Anglican part of it just now, but as I said, we have Old Testament and New Testament. So anyone who is interested in learning more about the scriptures and how they can apply the scriptures to their lives, anyone who's wants to learn more about the doctrines of the church, the Apostles' Creed, the history of the church from the early church, from the very first century up until the 15th century with the Reformation. So anyone who is interested in learning more. We also have short courses, 6-week courses, for those persons who feel that they can't, to dedicate Saturdays for 2 years. Each term is 9 weeks. And some like, ooh, I don't know if I could take all that time. But we do have short courses that we have on Monday evenings, 6-week courses. And again, anyone who is interested can join the course. We have a course on Introduction to the Bible that's taught by Archbishop Gomez. We have Apologetics and Evangelism. That's a very interesting one. I teach the apologetics course. And so it's something that will help anyone of any denomination to help them to give an answer or reason for the hope that they have in Jesus Christ, and how they can respond to persons who are agnostic or atheist, or those who just have questions about Christianity. So we have that, another course on the creeds, and also mission and ministry. So it's all very exciting.
And very thorough, very thorough.
Yes, very thorough.
I feel like if I take the course, then I'm going to come out as a reverend, right?
There have been some who have from other denominations, and they've gone on to be teaching their Bible studies and etc. Even within our church, our Anglican church, we have used persons who have graduated are now teaching the Bible study or doing addresses on Sunday evenings. So yeah, it's awesome. Well worth it.
So I know I made a joke about being a reverend, but what types of certifications will be received, and how many years does it take for someone to, I guess, complete the courses?
Right. If you do the full course, the 2-year course, you could do it in 2 ways. You can either audit it, which means that you could just sit in on the class and enjoy the teaching and ask all the questions you want without the stress of having to write an essay or take any kind of, write an essay. Or you can do it for a credit for a diploma. And the diploma, you have to write essays every term. So the choice is yours. We have some persons who really look forward to writing the essays, and some like, it's all right, I'll just enjoy the class, learn more, and do what I have to do in the ministry.
Yeah, a 2-year program, that's like an associate's degree, and that's a dedication.
Yeah, it is. And we have some very good lecturers.
That's awesome. So tell us again about some of the courses that are being held, and when and where are they being held?
Okay, they are actually, now we're doing them via Zoom. So you could be anywhere in the world. to take your course. We have some persons who travel and they sit in on a Saturday morning. So they're all of the classes are via Zoom, on Zoom, on Saturday mornings. The 2-year course is Saturday mornings from 8 to 11 because we do 4 courses each Saturday, and for 9 weeks, 3 terms each week. The 6-week courses are on Mondays. So the next course that will be available will be an Introduction to Anglicanism on February 28th. Apologetics is April 18th. Evangelism is May 30th. The Creeds, September 5th, and Mission and Ministry, October 24th. So it's just a matter of emailing us, getting the information, and we will send you as much information as you need or you desire.
Well, I know you probably have people ready to sign up now. So
I hope so.
Yeah, tell us definitely, how do they register and how do they contact you to get more information about the courses?
They can email me at maroach63@gmail.com, or they can call the diocesan office and they will give them further information on additional email addresses that they can contact.
Yes, I can hear them signing up already, right?
I hope so. I hope
I'm
so.
going to check it out too, because I got some questions I need to get answered. So
Well,
I think
there you go, Mark Daniels. I will look for your name.
Perfect. Reverend Marie Roach-Hepburn, we'd like to thank you for being on the show this morning, here talking about the Anglican Theological Institute and talking about, us learning more about our spirituality, getting those questions answered, and in an instructed environment with awesome lecturers. So thank you again for being on Bahamas at Sunrise with us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. God bless you all.
Yes. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise.
I will now because I can't watch it while you're. So I'll watch it now.
Awesome.
Thank
We'll
you.
be right back.
Right.
Muriel E. Frazier Eneas was charter member and first president of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Eta Phi Omega chapter, Nassau, the Bahamas. She was also the first president of a Greek-lettered organization, not only in the Bahamas, but also in the West Indies. While a student at Fisk University, Nashville, Tennessee, she met and married the late Senator, the Honorable Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas, who received his degree in dentistry at Meharry Medical College in that state. Mistress Eneas came to the Bahamas with Dr. Eneas and taught at the Government High School, St. John's College, and St. Anne's High School. She later served as principal of St. Anne's High School until her retirement. Mistress Eneas touched and impacted the lives of numerous students under her tutelage and guidance. Her musical talents allowed her to introduce her students at St. John's College to the production of many musicals. Mistress Eneas was among the small group of women who participated in the women's suffrage movement in the Bahamas. Her service to all mankind was legendary. She was known for her contributions as a member of the College of the Bahamas Continuing Education Division Committee, the board of the Life at Key Foundation, the Nassau Festival of Arts and Crafts, the Bahamas Girl Guides Association, and the Anglican Central Education Authority.
Joined the Click is an initiative started by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions last year when we were trying to figure out how to help business leaders as well as consumers to stay connected. Working with Canoe, working with other partners, working with the government and My Gateway to help them to connect with customers who want to place orders and want to be able to do things in a digital way.
My Gateway. My Gateway is a groundbreaking portal through which clients can request and pay for government services online. We have 28 services. We expect to increase the number of services to a minimum of 200.
I love that we're helping the government and helping our citizens to be more efficient and to use their time more wisely.
I invite you to sign up for mygateway.gov.bs and let us make government work for you. Join the clique.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. The government's fiscal performance for the first 6 months of 2021-2022 showed considerable improvement, with a $465 million increase in revenue and a decrease in the fiscal deficit by $467 million compared to the same period in the previous fiscal year. This, of course, is according to Minister of Economic Affairs, the Honorable Michael Halkitis. We want to discuss a few of the statements made by the minister at a recent press briefing with our Economic Pulse team today. And so we're very happy to welcome back to the show, Karlos Mackey. He's the Executive Director and President of Money Max. He's joined today by the President for Principal of Next Level Solutions, and that would be Hubert Edwards. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, always a pleasure to have you both with us. Let's get straight into the conversation. I know you guys are going to have a lot to say. Karlos, I'm going to get started with you. We have an increase in revenue and a decrease in expenditure. Is this news as good as it sounds?
And for a government budget, I would say that yes, it is as good as it sounds. Obviously, you can always try to poke holes, but I think that we're at a point where hopefully the economic recovery is actually starting to take hold. So I'm very pleased to see that we are making progress in terms of, at a minimum, getting back to the kind of revenue and expenditure pre-pandemic. I know that there are those of us who are concerned that the expenditures do not necessarily rise as quickly as the revenues do, but definitely any increase in revenue and any decrease in expenditure is very welcome news at the government level, as it should be even at the business level and at the individual level.
Excellent, excellent. Well said. Hubert Edwards, Minister Halkitis also said that macroeconomic indicators indicate a rebounding of the Bahamian economy to pre-pandemic levels. And we sort of heard Karlos allude to that as well. Does that seem to be the case based on what you're hearing and seeing on the ground?
Yes, the numbers, when you look at tourism, when you look at the fact that the economy is open, the rollback of the virus, it tells you that some things are happening. The numbers bear that out, right? The question that we have to bear in mind is the extent to which this, new uplift is really going to hold. But for this point, at this point in time, it's very positive. It's important, as Karlos said, that we pay attention to the revenue side. We know that the expenditure side may come and catch up a little bit later, but the revenue side suggests that there is some buoyancy in the economy at this point in time. And we want to kind of, I think, stay in this position because it's important. It's important in the first instance for us to get at least back to pre-pandemic stage, but we know that that is not going to be enough. But in order to get to the other side, the level that we really need, we need to have a couple of months under our belts. We need to get some relief from the pandemic as we are currently. We need to, start putting in the work to get to that longer-term goal or the longer-term growth which is needed for the economy.
Yeah, I'm very well said. So pre-pandemic is one thing, but it still doesn't take care of the issues that we had pre-pandemic. And so no. I think that was very well said, H.E. Your thoughts, well, positive, might kind of be echoed by Moody's, who reviewed the government's fiscal strategy report and midterm debt strategy and concluded that our government's assumptions about revenue growth were overly optimistic. So their words specifically. Halkitis, however, is confident that it can happen. Karlos, what are your thoughts?
I think that the government obviously, at this point, as a relatively new government, I think we should give them the benefit of the doubt. With all due respect to Moody's and everybody else, their perspective and the work that they do is that they look at all risk factors, and their view is to be conservative
I do think that this is a government that has set out to do their best, as it were, to try to be transformative in terms of making sure that there are economic opportunities for Bahamians and for investors alike. So I'm hopeful, as I think all Bahamians should be, that the government does meet its projections. That's actually something we should be hoping for, regardless of your particular political stripe. It will only do the country good for us to actually have the government meet its projections. The fact that, less than 6 months in, things are trending in the right direction, I think that bodes well. I think that obviously when we think about the things that Moody's has said, we all need to be mindful of those things, but to say that they are necessarily going to, as I would say, be predictors of what will happen, I don't think that that necessarily has to be the case. We have to, one, be hopeful, but two, we have to actually push government to say, you know what, a lot of things were said in the lead up to the election and even in the first few weeks post-election. We have to make sure that the government actually follows through on those promises around economic opportunity and entrepreneurial support. I think if we are to have those things, if we were to have those things happen, the government may actually do much better than Moody's would have anticipated.
All right, very, very well said. And so I come back to you now, HE. Fiscal analysts warn the government against putting too much faith in these first half numbers, given the pandemic's ability to resurface. We've seen the waves. Yes. I've not heard anything coming out of Europe recently. So, and normally they're 3 months ahead of us, but we'll see. What are your thoughts though? How cautious do we need to be with our faith in these first half numbers?
Yeah, we need to be optimistic. Of course, we need to be cautious. We don't know where the virus is. There's a significant amount of uncertainty that we are working with. And, it goes back to the same question you asked Karlos. It's a question of, are you going to be, shackled by all of the circumstances currently? And are you going to take a positive outlook? I think what has been done up to this point in time, takes the view that, we can get to a place where we ought to get. Is it aggressive? Yes, it is aggressive. Should we be overly optimistic? No, we should not. But should we be realistic and shoot for a particular goal? Yes. So the idea of taking, the numbers and saying, yes, there's something positive. I think the government is doing its job in that regard, because that is speak life into the economy. Should we say, well, this is going to hold true for the entire next 6 months? It's not likely to. It's not likely to. We know that there are going to be some areas where the expenditure will catch up. We know that there are going to be some areas where the revenue actually will fall off, because we have businesses, we have industries which are seasonal. And consequently, we have to kind of temper, the expectation of where we're going to come out. But I believe wholeheartedly that there's some aspect of the discussion which is happening right now, which is kind of wrong, in that, we're saying, here is where we're going to get, and some people are saying we can't get there. The question, I believe, is to lay out a path, to lay out a direction. This is where we are going, and then let's have the conversation of how can we get there? And even if we don't make it, how can we get as close as possible as to where we need to be? I think that is important.
And very quickly to follow on to that, Star, an important thing we have to do, as Hubert says, not only get there, but part of the conversation has to be, how do we sustain it? Because that's really the thing that we need to have, sustainability in whatever growth that we experience, and hopefully in whatever expense reduction, or at least the rate of decrease in expense growth. We need to make sure that we can sustain those things over the medium term and hopefully into the long term.
Yeah, very well said, both of you. Gentlemen, I'm really happy that you joined us this morning on Bahamas and Sunrise, and very happy that you were willing to share, I think, a realistically optimistic view of the future, given the current numbers, which I think is good news for us. We've not had that in some time, but also helping us to realize that this is so much more about the plan and our ability to sustain the plan, to stick with the plan, rather than to just be excited about numbers that came at a very high tourism peak post a pandemic that left many people indoors. So very, very good information always. Hubert, congratulations on what I heard was an incredibly successful risk and regulatory outlook to you and your team. Absolutely. And thank you so much to you and Karlos for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to be here.
Indeed. Thank you, Star. And let everybody know, or everybody should know, that all of us have a part to play. So let's not just be optimistic. Let's actually take some risk ourselves, and we'll see that actually bear fruit in the entire economy.
Very well said, Karlos. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We bring the great minds to you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The sports we play depend on the health we build. So let's stay healthy. Wear a mask and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
We believe in relationship banking. We take pride in getting to know our clients. You have access to knowledgeable, approachable ambassadors and financial coaches so that we can recommend the best product for you. At Fidelity, we care about you. From your financial health to your physical health, we can relate to you because we're just like you. Come and start your relationship banking experience with us today. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Visit any of our branches in Nassau or Grand Bahama, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 for Freeport.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're at the halfway point on this marvelous Monday. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
And I'm Mark Daniels. Thank you for joining us dead early on this Monday.
Indeed, early it is. Hubert and I agreed that it is very early, but we're always grateful for Mark's enthusiasm that helps to wake us up even when it's hard. It's been a great morning so far. A great conversation I had there with Hubert Edwards and Karlos Mackey talking about hope for the economy, Mark, but also some very real steps that we got to be taking. So I was happy to have that. And then great to hear you talk with Reverend Roach-Hepburn about all that is happening with the Anglican Theological Institute.
Yeah, definitely was excited to talk to her. You know, when my first profession I wanted to be as a child was a pastor, was a preacher. You know, maybe I'll get there someday, right?
I did not know.
I do appreciate the fact that they're taking the time to offer these classes for persons to get a better understanding of, you know, whether it's the Anglican faith or just religion in general. Just, you know, that always helps for persons to understand their faith and how it connects to the greater good. So I'm happy that they're doing that, and also happy to hear that the economy is coming back. So it seems like I shouldn't go buy that jet ski, but I should go and maybe invest in a small business that a friend of mine may be having, or support someone who's trying to launch some initiative, but hold back on the jet ski.
I mean, if you want to turn the jet ski into a business and you've got the right business plan and you go to the Small Business Development Accelerator, by all means, Mark, you get to enjoy the jet ski when it's not in use by other people, and you get to make some money. So, you know, just got to think about these things.
Great idea.
We're speaking of the Small Business Development Center. We are actually going to be talking to one of their clients a little later on. But before that, in the second half of the show, we're also going to be talking with Lashanti the Siren about her podcast. Looking forward to that.
Yes, definitely excited to hear a mermaid talk, right? And we're also going to be looking at our interview with Happy Hour CrossFit again. Once again, getting your body, your mind together this year. But let's take a second look at weather with Godfrey Birdside. Let's find out what's happening this week.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Mark, and good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at weather at Sunrise, high pressure system remains the dominant issue across the islands. It's not a cool front to move through on Wednesday morning, and that'll bring some wet weather and also some cooler temperatures behind it. In your marine forecast, Winds today east to southeast of 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas. Those winds falling light and variable at times, but 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over the southeastern islands. On Tuesday, those winds southeast to south at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet on northwest Bahamas, but shifting towards the northwest and northwest at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet by Wednesday night. East to southeast at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over the southeastern islands. Then on Wednesday, those winds northwest to north at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over the northwest Bahamas. Southeast to south at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over the central and southeastern islands. Your tides. Can you have a low tide that happened at 6:30 this morning? Next high tide will be at 24 minutes past midday. Low gain this evening at 6:42. Sunset, 5:58 this evening. Rises when at 6:48. UV index 7. Your water temperature 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Honeymoon phase now moving towards the first quarter. Your extended look at cold front moves on Wednesday morning, bringing some showers and cooler temperatures. The second reinforcing front expected to move through on Friday. The temperature daytime after a front passes will be in the mid to upper 70s daytime and the low to mid 60s at nighttime. That puts you up on your final look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Mark.
Siren Sundays is a web series and podcast focused on having real conversations with individuals in the environmental and conservation sector in the Bahamas. Here to tell us more is the host, Lashanti Jupp, Bahamian marine conservationist and our own mermaid. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for taking your time to come out of the ocean onto land to speak to us in English this morning, right?
Definitely have to appeal to the people. Got to know your audience.
Exactly. Now, your podcast, Siren Sundays, is very popular amongst the conservation groups and the nonprofit groups, those of us who are in that world. But tell us, what made you decide to start a podcast?
So from very early on in my career, I realized that one of my favorite things to do in marine conservation was to talk to people who were not in marine conservation and get them to understand our passion and understand why it's so important to protect the environment. And I would often have conversations with people and I would be telling them things that I felt was common knowledge. And they were just like, what? Is that how things work? And so I immediately thought, okay, I need to find a way to get this out there, get this information out to people. And after being on a panel or two with the Sustainable Lifestyle Group, they did the tree planting initiative, I figured, you know what? It's COVID. Everyone's watching social media. Let me just start a show. And of course, Mark, you were one of my first guests to be on this show. And it was so exciting to get some feedback from people, not only in the conservation sector, but people who had no idea about the amazing plants and animals and things we have going on in our ocean, right in our backyard.
Yes. I agree 100%. Even being in the space, watching the different interviewees come on, I always learn so much watching your show. And I love the name of the show, Siren Sundays. So explain to us and our viewers, what's behind the name of the podcast?
So in a scramble to figure out what day was the best day of the week, I've always said that I was a mermaid, but I always appealed a bit more to the allure of this mythological siren that used their voice, right, to lure sailors to the rocks. But I said, no, I want to be a good siren. I want to use my voice to educate people about our rocks, our islands that we called home. And it just fits so well, Siren Sunday. So Sunday afternoons, you can check me out on the show, being a siren and talking to people about the conservation sector.
That's perfect. I love it. It's very fitting. And it is a great conversation to have on Sunday, watching the show. And it takes you into the week, especially when you're engaging with your colleagues in the sector. So talk to us about some of the themes and issues that you feature in your podcast.
So some of the reoccurring themes that we've been having is climate change. As you know, that is one of the issues that our little islands face due to sea level rise and even intensifying hurricanes. We also got a lot of people that do talk about terrestrial things. So we've had people talk about wildlife trafficking. We've had some guests come on and even just talk about some of the policies and agreements that the Bahamas has signed on that people had no idea that the Bahamas on the world stage as a part of some of these things that affect international species as well as the ones here at home. I'm looking forward to having more people come on to talk about things like aquaculture. We have Dr. Krista Sherman coming soon to talk about NASA grouper research. And it's such a wide variety of things. And I think one of my favorite things, like you just said, was not only has this now been appealing to people outside the sector, but it's been a way actually to connect other people in the conservation sector that are doing similar research. So earlier in my seasons, I had a PhD researcher talk about aquaculture. And now I actually have a professional, Dr. Amina Moss, coming this Sunday to talk about aquaculture. And so it was really great to see these like parallels kind of pop out with Bahamian scientists and researchers. And it's just always so amazing to hear some of the amazing things that Bahamians are doing, not only in our backyard, but also abroad and away and off to school.
Tell us, why are these conversations so important?
I think they're so important because this we have one planet, right? We have one country, and I've always been so passionate. I grew up in the Bahamas. I love my country, and I think it's so important for other Bahamians to understand why it's important to love our country, not just because we have tourists coming, but for that intrinsic value that it gives to Bahamians as people living there. Like the ocean is our identity. It's what makes us who we are, and it's so important to just understand why the islands are the way they are, what we have here, and why it's so important to be more sustainable, to clean up our beaches and not make them dirty, and to just take action for the things that are ours and just really love our country.
Yes, I agree 1000%. It's important to have these conversations, to keep it in the forefront of people's minds, keep it real. It's one thing to read it in the newspaper or to see a blip on the news, but to be involved in a conversation where you can ask questions and get feedback in real time is definitely a great way to keep these issues in the forefront of our mind. You mentioned something about beach cleanup. Now, I want to dig into that. Tell us about beach cleanups, why they're important, and if there's any event that you have coming up.
Right. So beach cleanups is one of the most like practical ways that someone can get involved in marine conservation. It makes you feel good. You get out to the beach, you see a dirty beach, you clean it up, and you prevent all of that trash from getting into the ocean, which could otherwise have harmed not only the marine environment, but some of the marine animals that we love to eat and love to look at. So beach cleanups are important because they also connect people with this environment and help them to understand that, you know, why we have to take care of it, why it is important to not just leave trash where it is. Because oftentimes we like to say, oh, we threw something away, but you have to be sure that you knew where it went. And a lot of times when we have like our big holidays come up, I always get so saddened when I see that all of those bottles, all of those old food containers are still sitting there, and somebody didn't care enough about our ocean to just at least put it in a trash, or if the trash can is full, to take it home. So I had launched Island Cleanup I think this was last year, kind of in the midst or right on the edge of what we thought was the end of the pandemic. But given the pandemic numbers going back up, it just was no longer like safe to really hold them. But I'm hoping to relaunch this initiative in April, right in time for Earth Day. You know, April is Earth Month, and just really getting some traction with getting people out there. We got a lot of good attention last year when we were doing it, hoping to reconnect with the Sustainable Lifestyle Group again, so we can also tie in that tree planting. So not only are people cleaning the environment, but they're also restoring the environment, which is so important, right? Like it's a full cycle.
No, I once again, I appreciate you. You know, you explain things so well, right? Like it feels like this is your show right now. Like
I talk for a living.
That's okay. Exactly. You know, I'm on your podcast at the moment, but yes, definitely connecting people to the environment. And, you know, in your work, in my work, anyone in the conservation world or the nonprofit world, you find that the most impact is made when you get someone to connect with nature. And you tend to connect with nature when you get out into nature. So whether you go for a hike, whether you go for a swim, you do a beach cleanup, you're clearing out some invasive species out of an area, you know, it's putting in that work connects you to the environment and makes you appreciate it a bit more, right? You know, we all want to have our beaches to swim on the holidays, and we want our forests to walk through, you know, on a holiday as well. So I appreciate the efforts that you put in to organize these cleanups and just to educate the general public. So tell us, what platform is your podcast on, and how can people tune into your show?
Awesome. So I do every season, I have a live episode that is you're able to view it on Facebook and on YouTube. And I actually recently launched the podcast side of this. So if you've missed any of those episodes and you don't have the time to sit and physically watch it, you can listen to it on your drive, on your walk, on your run, on any podcast platform. Right now, the main ones are Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. So you can go back into the archives from our very first episode about lunar escaping and go all the way forward to even our most recent episodes that I recorded just yesterday. I always encourage people to try and tune in live because it's always so fun to interact with my guests and ask them these questions, and they answer them, like you said, in real time, because it always makes the conversation that much better. But if you don't have the time, Sundays are a busy day, it's a family day, you can always come back later and listen to the podcast.
Awesome. So awesome. Before we let you swim back into the ocean, any final words for us land lovers?
Yeah, I think a lot of people look at the ocean as this dividing thing. And I always try to remind people that the ocean is not what separates us, doesn't separate our islands, it's actually what connects us to each other and to nature. So we have to make sure to take care of that because it's our lifeline. It's the blood in our veins for our country.
Amen, amen. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Lashanti Jupp, our Bahamian marine conservationist, our very own Siren, talking about Siren Sunday is a wonderful podcast. Make sure you check it out on all the platforms. Lashanti, thank you for joining us on Bahamas at Sunrise. Very informative, and we wish you the best in your podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Our world has changed. Many businesses have been closed for months with little or no access to their customers until now. Rev'd Media can help you remain connected to your customers. Our trusted customized advertising packages and personalized consultants will provide your business with immeasurable support during this challenging time. Your customers are already watching. Rev'd Media can help you to remain connected. Call us today. Let us help you.
One thing, two things, blue thing, all things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
In the Bahamas, small business is big business. More than 90% of the businesses in the Bahamas are classified as micro, small, or medium-sized enterprises, or MSMEs. The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center was created to serve them. We at the Access Accelerator offer a variety of services to our clients: business advisory services, training and entrepreneurial programming, mentorship and incubation, and advocacy.
Welcome back. Happy Hour CrossFit Gym is a top-rate facility with expert coaches and expert fitness programs to help you succeed. Today, we're talking with James Thompson, owner of Happy Hour CrossFit. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
How's it going, Mark?
I know you was brother Jaime, you see? So
Yeah.
calling you James is a little strange, but we're in your place. So happy to see you here.
Thank you.
Such a wonderful facility. We've heard the name CrossFit in many different spheres, but tell us, what is the idea and mission behind Happy Hour CrossFit?
Right, so Happy Hour CrossFit, here our mission is to help everybody live a fitter, healthier, and happier life through fitness, nutrition, and community. So we're focusing on incorporating all of the things that people look for that serves to enhance their quality of life.
So how did you get started here, and how has it grown over the years?
Funny enough, I actually used to be a member here at Happy Hour in about 2017, and it wasn't long after that I truly developed a passion for what I did in here, a passion for the fitness, a passion for the camaraderie, the social aspect played a huge part in my life. And so because of that, and because of the amount of passion and love I had for CrossFit, I told myself, one day I wanted to maybe potentially have something of my own similar to this. And I can definitely say, by the grace of God and by the thanks to the Access Accelerator as well, they made my dream a reality.
That sounds wonderful. In case y'all didn't know, Jaime is world-class soccer player, so we can claim that he got that passion and that fitness from playing soccer, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about the fitness experience here at the gym and the type of services you offer.
Sure. So our methodology of fitness is pretty well-rounded. We focus on enhancing everybody's overall physical capacity by focusing on all of the elements of fitness. And so it ranges from strength to speed to endurance, mobility, power. And the list goes on. We focus on incorporating the programming that serves to touch all of those bases every single class on a daily basis. And the progressions are honestly phenomenal. I, as you mentioned, as a former, hopefully not a former, beach soccer player, I saw it, and I would put myself as stand myself as a true testament as to the results that you can obtain here. As it's not just improved me physically, but it's also relieved me mentally as well. And I can definitely say my life has become a whole lot better. Everything that I do here has served to improve my true well-being. So our goal, honestly, is to strive for each of our members to have that same experience.
You just talking about the exercises got me sweating, right? That means I take the suit off and go to work, right? So tell us, what are some of your most popular classes that you have here?
Sure. So just to give you an idea of just the overall, the umbrella. Everything here, as you should know, as you can see on the big and bold, we're CrossFit, right? And CrossFit is just simply functional movements expressed at a high intensity. And based on our philosophy, we keep it constantly varied. So every day you come in here, it's a whole new challenge. There's no leg day, there's no arms day. Everything is everything on a daily basis. And it's what keeps people coming back. And it's what definitely keeps things exciting. Going back to the programming and the classes that we offer, I like to tell people we want to make sure that you're squatting on the toilet in your 90s, without anybody holding your hand. Right. So we strive for that sense of independence and maintaining it, and we do that through our general CrossFit class, which what we're standing in. This is what we call our box. This is where all the actions happen, where progressions are made, goals are achieved. And this is considered to be our most complex program. And we see the same type of programming transferred over to our FlexFit classes, which is a bit dialed down in complexity, and so it's a bit more structured. So it gives us an opportunity to give people who need a strict regimen and say, listen, I only got 45 minutes in here. Let's knock it out. So we're pretty efficient in that sense. On top of that, we also have a RoFit program that we offer in our second studio. And in that class, that serves to dial it down even more to a lower complexity, makes it a bit more low impact. So that serves to adhere more to persons of the demographic who might have like knee issues, aren't into jumping, doing this and do that because they're conscious of their knees and their ankles and like any of their extremity muscles. And so that gives us the opportunity to really adhere to those type of people. So we're not pushing people away. We're giving everybody the opportunity to come in here and be their very best versions of themselves.
I'm loving what I'm hearing about CrossFit and Happy Hour CrossFit here. It definitely seems like it's a family atmosphere, and that the exercises are very well thought out and custom made for the participants. So you mentioned the SBDC earlier. Tell us how the Access Accelerator helped you in developing your business.
Right, sure. So when the offer was put on the table for me to pursue this business venture, in my mind I was kind of at a block because I'm like, shoot, y'all are offering this to me, and I don't have that kind of money, I don't have that kind of financial support for myself. the Access Accelerator provided me with the opportunity to make this dream of mine come true, by just truly believing in me and just allowing me the opportunity to show them that, you know, this vision can actually be has potential to succeed. And you know, by putting pen to paper, we made it happen. And honestly, it wouldn't be without them, without their help and their true support and belief. And I give big shout out to my advisor, Donna Mortimer, Davinia Blair, Nicholas Higgs, you know, and all their other parts of their support system for making this happen for me.
It's definitely a robust program that's helped many small businesses in the country get off their feet, but also provide advice and guidance on running your business and providing connections to funding opportunities. So it's only the second month of the year. You know, how do you encourage people to get started on a fitness journey, and how can you help with that at Happy Hour CrossFit?
The good thing about our programming here is everything is very scalable. And what I mean by scalable, I mean that everything can be modified, you know, straight down to the grain, you know, to accommodate your present physical capacity when you're joining. So because of that, it makes everything a lot more self-paced. And so I try not to alarm people, to kind of give them a sense of comfort, to make sure that they know that, you know, take your steps. You know, you have to walk. You have to learn to walk before you run. Perfect. You know, so for us, it's a holding hands process, and you know, through our one-on-one consultations and through their first classes, especially our onboarding process, we serve to give people the opportunity to truly understand what it is that we do in here and what we do to help you feel comfortable and a lot more safe.
Yeah, it sounds like, once again, you really extend yourselves as a gym, as a community, to make people feel comfortable and provide them with, you know, tailored solutions to their fitness. And as we wrap up, just tell us quick, how can we get more information about Happy Hour CrossFit, and how can people sign up?
Well, listen, everyone can just check me out on social media. We're on Facebook. We have an Instagram, and otherwise you can check us out at happyhourcrossfit.com. And through either of those methods, you can go. There's a link that you can use to schedule a free one-on-one consultation, and that will give us the opportunity to really have that one-on-one and that solid icebreaker.
Perfect. James Thompson, owner of CrossFit, Happy Hour CrossFit here on East Bay Street. We're here talking about fitness. I'd like to thank you for joining us on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you, Mark.
I'm about to go bust out 100 burpees. We'll be right back.
Here we go.
Well, that's going to do it for us, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Bahamas at Sunrise. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you, and we'll be back with more on Friday. Have a great week.
Thank you for waking up with us this morning. Be sure to check out our Valentine's Day contest and our Super Bowl contest on our Facebook page. Have a great week, everybody.